Hi everyone, Crypto Henry here. In this video, we are going to update the Ethereum roadmap. So recently, Vitalik Buterin released a new roadmap for Ethereum with one more step. So I think, as you know by now, there was a number of future upgrades for the Ethereum network. The merge, which already happened, the surge, the verge, the purge, and the splurge. We already talked about these updates, but now there is one more. It's called the Scourge, and the Scourge will come after the Surge. I know these names sound like horror movies or something like that. What's the name of that movie? Oh, yeah, right, this one, The Purge. So, nothing to do with this kind of stuff, The Purge. So, let's get straight into it and talk about the future upgrades and what is this new Scourge? So as you know, let's start with the merge. Merge was the upgrade that already happened, and basically it reduced the energy consumption of the Ethereum network by 99.9 something percent by moving from proof of work to proof of stake. So the merge basically merged the beacon chain, which was the proof of stake chain, with the main chain, which was proof of work, and the developers basically implemented a difficulty bomb to prevent proof of work miners to continue to mine, and basically merged the proof of stake chain, the beacon chain, with the execution layer of the Ethereum blockchain. And now currently we have Ethereum proof of stake, we have way less Ethereum issuance. It's also more environmentally friendly, and this is very positive. And now the Ethereum issuance is so way lower. I really like to look at this website, Ultrasounds. Let me quickly show it here to you. Probably if you watch my videos, you have already seen this website, but basically here you can see the Ethereum issuance. And if we click here, this button, simulate POW, proof of work. So if we are on the Ethereum chain on proof of work, we'll have an issuance rate average 3.5%. And now the reality is that we have a negative issuance minus 0.027%. And this is really cool because now ETH is deflationary and it's getting more and more scarce. But this is not what about this video is about. We now want to talk about the upgrades. With the merge, basically, yes, move to proof of stake. The surge, what's going to do is to implement sharding. So we'll have a number of shards. You can see these shards as basically tabs in an Excel spreadsheet. Instead of having one big tab on the Excel spreadsheet, we have different tabs, we have different spreadsheets, and the data, all the database of the Ethereum blockchain will be spread across different tabs, different sub-databases, let's say. And all these different databases are going to communicate with the proof of stake chain, with the beacon chain that is going to be the conductor of all these chains. And the surge basically, what's going to do with this is that instead of having only one database, we have different databases, the workload is going to be spread, and consequently it will improve the scalability. So Ethereum will be able to process up to 100,000 transactions per second. Okay, and after the surge that is supposedly going to happen sometime in 2023, we are going to have the Scourge, and the Scourge is the new upgrade. So what is the Scourge? The Scourge, according to Vitalik, is basically to ensure reliable and fair credibility, neutral transaction inclusion, solved MEV issues. So MEV stands for maximal extracted value, and it's basically a piece of software that the proof of stake validators have in order to help them to reorganize the transactions and decide which transactions do they want to include in the block. And mainly, the goal of the MEV is to maximize the value of the block. So the transactions that pay higher transaction fees are the ones that are selected to be included in the block. And there are other things, but basically MEV is to maximize the value of a block because block space on the Ethereum blockchain is scarce. Now, the issue is that there are not that many MEV softwares out there, and most of them are OFAC compliant, meaning that they are now sanctioning transactions. They are basically deciding not to process some transactions. And this is not good. This is kind of a sign of centralization. So you can check here this website MEV Watch, and you will see that at the moment, 75% of the proof of stake stakers, the proof of stake nodes, are OFAC compliant. So they are using MEV softwares that are leaving some of those transactions behind. And these transactions might be, for example, the transactions that are related to Tornado Cash, which was banned and is blacklisted. And then you have a number of nodes that are not OFAC compliant. These are the good ones, 14%. And then you have like 10% that are not using MEV Boost, meaning that they are also not OFAC compliant. OFAC is the Office of Foreign Assets Control. It's basically an office in the US that says, oh, you cannot do this kind of transaction because you are transacting with a sanctioned country or sanctioned person. So if you have a transaction that is related to this kind of stuff, like a Tornado Cash transaction, which was banned, basically means that your transaction will need to wait until it's processed by one of these green blocks. So if you do a transaction, instead of taking maybe 10, 15 seconds to be included on the next block, you will need to wait until you have one of these non-OFAC compliant miners, or in this case validators, validating your transaction. And this is not good. This is creating some kind of centralization, and there are some concerns that the Ethereum blockchain may get centralized because of this. So the Scourge is going to basically help solving this. So as you can see here, the goal is to ensure reliable and credible neutral transaction inclusion and avoid centralization and other protocol risks from MEV. So this is great news, and it's very good that Vitalik included it in the roadmap. Then there are also some other updates. So as you see here, it says that the Verge is not only about Verkle trees. Verkle trees is some kind of Merkle trees to help reducing the data size to validate transactions. It's also about verification, and the end game is fully snark Ethereum. So this means is to bring also more privacy. ZK Snarks is basically about zero knowledge proofs, and it's to bring more privacy, and so that you can transact without being censored and things like that. Then after that we have the Purge and the Splurge, which didn't change much, and they are basically related to other additional upgrades on the Ethereum blockchain. So in a nutshell, this was really a very needed upgrade. So the Scourge is going to bring more decentralization to the Ethereum blockchain. At the moment there are close to 450,000 different validators. Some of these validators, big chunks of them are controlled by some centralized exchange, and this wouldn't be an issue if they are not using MEV software that is sanctioning transactions. So the Scourge is going to basically solve this issue. It's going to remove this centralization issue that MEV softwares are creating. For example, Flashbots is one of the most widely used MEV softwares, and at the moment they are OFAC compliant. So they have already open source everything, so you can copy the Flashbots software, fork it, and create your own MEV that is non-OFAC compliant. But the Scourge upgrade will make it even harder to have any kind of centralization or to have MEV softwares that are sanctioning transactions. So this is really positive for the Ethereum blockchain, and let me know also what you think about the future of the Ethereum blockchain in the comment section. I think we have a very ambitious roadmap, but we also have the biggest developer community and the smartest developers working around the Ethereum blockchain. Alright guys, that's all for today. If you like this video, check the description of this video because I have there some courses, including an Ethereum upgrade course that I have created specifically talking about Ethereum. And if you like the video, give it a like and subscribe, and as always, I'll see you soon.